Hiya! Welcome! Here I have a nice big old chunky 12 by 12 inch record mailer. That can only mean one thing. Got some albums to show you. Or it could mean 12 inch singles. But there is 2 albums in here. And these are a couple of relatively impulsive purchases from a website I've not used in quite some time. The Sound of Vinyl. I do look on there quite a lot, and very occasionally they have like some sort of deal of the day. I got an email from them saying that they had a 20% off sale over the Easter weekend, and at first I thought it was 20% off anything, so I thought, oh brilliant, you know, let's fill some holes in the collection or get something that wouldn't have normally thought about getting. And when I looked, it turns out it wasn't everything on site. It was quite a lot of stuff, but it was like a limited selection. Fortunately though, maybe not for my bank account, but fortunately for my own record collection, there was 2 albums that I saw that I thought, yes, I would like those. So let's get them out of this mailer right now. Trying to determine whether I need my knife here. Unusual one, this. So with 20% off, one of these albums, which I think is a 3-disc set, was under £30, which seems a really good price. And the other one was around £15–16. Not having much joy with this mailer here. I'm just tearing little bits off. How about now? Ah, there we go. I found where it's been stuck together. I didn't think I'd need my knife for this. Come on out. There we are. Oh yes, now I got like a bonus freebie with one of these albums as well. Didn't really want it, but it just came with it as standard, and like I say, 20% off. There should be an invoice in there, but I won't worry about that. I think I'll show you that one in a second, because that's the album I'm most excited about, and it's the one that technically has the bonus free item with it. The first album I'll show you though is in the hip-hop genre, and it's this one by N.W.A. I'm not gonna say the real name of the album because that would be wholly inappropriate for me on YouTube or indeed in any walk of life. People do refer to this album as F.I.L. or E.F.I.L. for Zagging, but it's technically not the name of the album. That's just it written backwards. Second and final studio album from N.W.A., the legendary and pioneering hip-hop rap group of the late 80s and early 90s. I think this album came out, I want to say, around 1991. And it was one of only 2 full-length studio albums that N.W.A. recorded as a unit, and I think they'd had a couple of member departures at this point. I think Ice Cube and Arabian Prince weren't involved in this album. They'd left before this had come out. It is a Back to Black edition, my first N.W.A. album, straight out of Compton. That's also a Back to Black reissue. So I just thought it'd be nice to kind of complete the N.W.A. collection. Yes, there's more compilations, and they had like an EP come out, 100 Miles and Running, I think that is, that some people class as like a mini album, but for all intents and purposes, I've got I've got both of the N.W.A. studio albums now. Just one I never thought to look for ages. When I saw it in the sale section, to be able to get 20% off, I thought, yeah, I'll have that. I've also got Eazy-E's first solo album, Easy Does It, on cassette, which is a very nice lenticular special edition type of tape. I did do a video on that many years ago on the channel. Yeah, that's about all I can say really about F.I.L. or E.F.I.L. for Zagging by N.W.A. Very nice. Now then, this is the one that I'm really excited about. I've not got anything by this group in my collection. I think my brother had one of their albums on cassette in the mid to late 90s, oddly enough, when he was going through his brief Britpop phase. I wouldn't class these as Britpop technically, but they did have some success relating to indie rock around the same time as, you know, when Oasis and all the rest were breaking through. But for me, they kind of stemmed from the Manchester baggy era of the early 90s. I've been wanting a best of or a greatest hits compilation from this band for ages now. The only one I'd really looked at was one that came out back in, I think it was originally 1998 or 99, Melting Pot, and I didn't even realise that they'd had a newer one come out in more recent times, and I'm talking about The Charlatans, and this is A Head Full of Dreams. And then it's also got the bonus disc, Live, Trust is for Believers. So technically this is like 2 albums in one. There's a 2-disc hits compilation, Head Full of dream, a head full of ideas even, and a live album as well. I wasn't overly bothered about getting the live disc, but this was the edition that was on sale. And also, it's a very nice coloured disc variant as well, which I'll show you in a minute. And also, what made this even better, I mean, this album with 20% off came to something like $27.99. But also what came with it is this, and it's a signed art print by the Charlatans. I'm a bit weird in the collecting community because I'm someone who actually isn't all that interested in signatures. But if someone's bundling something in for free and it's been signed, then that's great. I think that might be Tim Burgess, the lead singer's signature there, possibly. That looks like a T and a B anyway. Trying to determine what the print actually is. There is some text on the back of the print. There's even a barcode. I don't know, it might be an old single or album cover. I'm not sure and I can't read that, it's way too small for me. All I wanted really was the album Head Full of Ideas, and then I get a bonus live disc and then a free signed art print as well. That is nice. I won't frame it or hang it up or anything, I'll probably just slot it in with the album itself. Yeah, I thought that was a nice little thing. But let's have a better look at the record, namely the discs themselves. Because this came out on standard black vinyl, which I think was just the 2-disc best-of compilation. And this version I've got, and I'm looking at it trying to determine, I think this is almost certainly a gatefold album jacket here. With no hype sticker on, I think I'm probably going to be alright just to rip into this. Not literally rip it, but get all the cellophane off fully. I will start it off with the trusty tweezers though. The Charlatans, as I say, probably formed in the late 80s. These started having big hits in the UK in the early 90s. The only one I know for me was their breakthrough hit. And there was sort of a consistent charting act, if not a particularly massive band, throughout sort of the first half of the 90s. And then I would say they had probably their peak period from the mid to late 90s, even though that did coincide with their original keyboardist Rob Collins sadly passing away in a car accident, I think that was. Yeah, I'm just going to take the cellophane off right now, otherwise I'm struggling to get into it. I don't know if you can see that, I'm not showing this very well. Is this double gatefold? Hang on. Yeah, look at that. Wow. As I say, there's 3 discs worth in here, so the price I paid, well under 30. This is pretty much a bargain. I'm not overly interested in collecting all their studio albums. I may pick some up if I see any cheap. I wouldn't ever rule it out because I do like the band. I wouldn't have bought this if I didn't. I'm just trying to get one of these discs out to show you. This might be the live disc because this is like the 3rd pocket that I've picked it up from. And here it is, very nice. I think they class it as opaque white. So just white essentially. Maybe it's the lighting that's doing it to it. For me, it's kind of verging on a sort of like creamy kind of colour. That's probably my eyes playing tricks on me in the light and what have you. And all 3 discs are that colour as well, so I don't really need to get them all out to show you. Plain black inner, nice one with the anti-static bag that's included inside. But yeah, what a brilliant set this is. Finally back in, so great set this. All their big hits, is the 90s stuff I'm more familiar with. I think the 2nd disc is going to be the more recent stuff, which I'll be honest, I've barely heard any. I know they've been a consistently decent band for the past 30 to 35 years. I think that's a really nice set, that Head Full of Ideas on limited edition white vinyl with the bonus Trust Is For Believers live album and a free signed Charlatans art print as well. Lovely stuff there from the Sound of Vinyl. And of course we started out with the gangster rap pioneers themselves, N.W.A. So there we are, that was my Easter weekend 20% off sale purchases from the Sound of Vinyl. Thank you all for watching this mail opening today, and special thanks go, as always, to my subscribers and my wonderful, generous patrons. Please see my Patreon link and my Facebook group link, and a link for contents insurance, all down in the description text box below. It might be below, or it might not even be on your device if you do what I do and watch on TV most of the time. I'm going to go now, and I think I've got to listen to the Charlatans first, much as I'm looking forward to hearing, finally, after all these years, the final N.W.A studio album. I've been really looking forward to getting some sort of Charlatans, preferably a hits or a best-of compilation album into my collection. That day's finally come, so got to listen to Head Full of Ideas and the bonus live disc first, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next discounted record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!